not.
Okay, no issues. So we'll start. So the next thing that we need to configure is not so stubby area, not so stubby area, NSSA. Not so stubby area, NSSA. Okay, NSSA, not so stubby area. Now NSSA breaks stub area rules. Stub area rules. The rule which you studied before, that area 0 cannot be a stub area, area with ASBR cannot be a stub area. It will break this rule. ASBR is allowed in NSSA. ASBR is allowed in NSSA. Special LSA type 7 is defined, sent by ASBR. Okay, sent by ASBR. ABR converts LSA type 7 to LSA type 5. ABR sends default route into NSSA instead of external routes from other ASBR. Okay, so it generates default route in OSPF stub, allow external routes to stub area. Means suppose if I give you an example, I am having some routes over here. Some areas are there over here. Suppose these are the areas that are connected. These are the 3 areas that are connected. And here are my ABR routers. Okay, this is my area 10. This is my area 0. This is my area 20. And here I am running some routing protocol. Suppose I am running some EIGRP or anything. Here I am running EIGRP. And here I am running something known as RIP. RIP. Here I am running RIP. Okay. So whatever routes are coming from my RIP routing protocol, the routes that are coming from RIP routing protocol, it will come to till this ABR. Within this area, they will be LSA 7. LSA 7. Till this area 10, they will be LSA 7. Now, once they are received by this ABR router, area border router, they will be converted into LSA 5. Now they will be shared as LSA 5 to other areas. LSA 5. What are my LSA 5? What are my LSA 5?
OIA routes.
OIA routes. External LSAs. No, sir. LSA 5 are OIA routes.
LSA 5 is external routes, E1 routes or E2 routes. E2 routes. So.
E1 and E2 routes. LSA 5s are E1 and E2 routes.
LSA 3 is
Now, when this area, what I will do, this area I will make it as NSSA. When I make this area as NSSA, in the NSSA it will show you as LSA 7. But when it passes the NSSA area, it will show you as LSA 5. Okay. And when from this side, the routes are coming from EIGRP. If the routes are coming, they will be which type of routes? LSA 5. External routes. This area to this area, external routes will be coming. Okay, E1 and E2 routes. When these routes come to this ABR router, it will convert them into O*IA routes. A single default route, O*IA routes. When this will come to the NSSA area, this NSSA configuration will convert this LSA 5 into OIA route. So means that whatever the EIGRP LSA 5 are coming, LSA 5 is coming, whatever LSA 5 is coming, we have remove this LSA5 in the stub area. This is my stub area. And my stub area is again advertised with a routing protocol. My stub area is having an ASBR router as well. Understood? This is not so stubby area. Not so stubby area. Understood or not?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have totally NSSA. Now, as you know that what my totally stub was doing, my totally stub was removing the OIA routes also, that is LSA3 also. Now here I am getting only the LSA5s are removed. LSA3s are still there. LSA3s are still there. So my totally NSSA will remove this LSA3 also. That is my OIA routes. That is my OIA routes. Let's see the practical. Practically, once we see, you will understand the things.
But how it is different than the previous one?
How it is different? Previously, we were not able to make a stub area that was having an ASBR router. You cannot make an area with the ASBR router as a stub area. With the help of NSSA, you can do this. You can do this. Means now my both the side routes are getting removed. Both the side routes are getting removed, you can say. Okay, these LSA7s are converted into LSA5. From here, this side, the LSA5 and LSA3, whatever are coming, they are converted into a single default route. Got it?
Okay.
Understood the difference?
Yeah.
Here is my topology. Now my plan is something like this, that this loopback will be running in EIGRP. They will be running in EIGRP. Then, as per my last configuration, whatever I've done, these will be in area 10. These will be running OSPF area 10. These will be in area 0. And the last, these loopbacks will be in running in RIP. So what I've changed, I've just made the loopback of R1 to go in EIGRP. Rest all the things are same. Correct? Understood the plan? Router EIGRP. First I'll write EIGRP 100. No auto summary. Network 11.0.0.0. Exit. Router OSPF1. Network 1.network. 0.255.255.255 area 10, 10 dot network in area 10. Then I'll redistribute EIGRP 100 subnets. Okay, exit. On R2, router OSPF1 network, whatever network are there in on this router, configure it in area, sorry, not in area 0, area 10.
Just one question.
Yes,
If I don't do no network 0 and directly you put area 10, it will not overwrite
if I don't use what?
the no command, and directly if you
Uh-huh.
put the next
No,
command.
it won't overwrite. See, if I write area 0, it won't overwrite the things.
Okay.
I have to remove the configuration. See,
Okay, but
what was the configuration I've done? I'll remove this thing. Router OSPF1 network 0.0.0.0 0.0.0.0 area 10. Then on
Just have
R3,
one question on R1. You did the redistribution EIGRP 100. What was the 100 referencing again?
100 was the autonomous system.
yes,
Autonomous system.
yes.
That's right. Thank you.
Yes, I executed the I'm configuring autonomous system 100. Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
On R3, router OSPF1 network 30 dot network area 10, 13 dot network in area 10, and 3 dot network in area 0. Also my 2 dot network in area 10. On R4, router RIP version 2, no auto summary, network 14.0.0.0, exit, router OSPF1 network 3 dot network 0.255 to 55 to 55 area 0, redistribute RIP subnets. Okay, done. Now I'll configure area 10 as my stub area. So what are the routers that are there in area 10? R1, R2 and R3. I'll go on all the routers and I'll give a command OSPF1 and I'll say area 10 stub. Area 10 stub.
Sorry, before you remove those routes, can you just show IP OSPF database? Just want to see how it looks like before and after.
On which router?
Any router,
Show
any
IP route.
area 10 router. So IP OSPF database. So it is having
Sorry.
what is LSA number? Okay, type 5 I can see.
I'm having the type 5 external routes over here. 11 dot also and 14 dot also. Okay. Understood?
Yeah, and also on the ASBR router, right?
This is my ASBR router only. R1 is my ASBR router. As per my diagram, R1 is my ASBR router and R4 is my ASBR router.
Yeah.
These two are my ASBR router. If I go on R4 also, show IP OSPF database. Here also I am getting all the routes. The LSA type 5 also I am getting over here. External LSAs.
Okay.
And type 5 is the OIA or?
No, 5 is
E1,
E1 and E2 routes. External routes.
The external. Okay. Sorry.
OIA is an inter area route, right? OSPF inter area.
Yes, OIA is OSPF inter area routes. You can say LSA type 3.
That is summary net
Summary
link.
LSA.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So should I configure the stub?
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry. Router OSPF 1 area 10 stub. Okay. I've made the area 10 a stub area.
I'm sorry, one more question. When you make it a stub area, that means it's not advertising out, or just that concept? I'm not getting that concept.
If I make an area as a stub area, the ABR router, see what I did, I made this area 10 as a stub area. So whichever is the ABR router will not advertise these external routes inside the area. It will keep it to itself only. Instead of external routes, these routers R1 and R2 will be having only one O*IA route. For these RIP routes, they will be having O*IA routes. Understood?
Yes, just on the area border routers, R1 and R3, right?
Come again? Just on?
It would just be on the area border routers, like when you make it a stub?
All the internal and area routers.
Yeah, all the individual routes will be there. You have to configure it on all the routers within the area. You have to give the command on all the routers. But the individual routes, like these 4 networks, will be only present on the ABR. The information of
Right.
these networks will be not
You won't
there
see it on
ABR.
R2 then?
R2 and R1.
Okay, you would only see those routes on the area border router.
Yes, you will only
not
see
inside
the route on the area border router.
Okay. Thank you.
So show IP route OSPF. If I see, you can see I am having OIA routes. The 14 dot network has been removed from here. 14 dot network. If I see the show IP OSPF database, see, if I make any area as a stub area, the external routes, the LSA type 5 will be removed. You can see LSA type 5 has been removed.
Yeah, the correct will be like it's replaced, right, by O*IA.
Yes, it is the routes are removed and it has been replaced with the one default
Okay.
route.
Like
Yeah, so 11, all the 11s are gone, and now it's OIA 000.
14s,
Okay.
for 14s.
And on the
for all the 14s.
14s, and wait, wouldn't the 11s be replaced too?
14s are being replaced.
You're on
There.
R1. Yeah,
Yes.
I get. Would I not see the 11 dots then?
Yes. So why you
Also
cannot
11
see the 11 dot? Because if you make any area as a stub area, you will not get any external routes. So that is the
Okay.
reason you are not able to get these routes also.
All the 11 and all the 14 have been replaced with the zeros and the O star IA.
Yes.
So even if we went to R3, we would see the exact same thing.
No, R3 will be having all the single routes. Show IP route OSPF. R3 will be having the individual routes for these OE2 routes, but it will not have 11 dot network because the information from 11 dot network is not passing. That is what we need to study over here. That
I
is
guess.
what NSSA is. See, my
Yeah.
11 dot network is not getting.
Yes, here I see one more problem on R1.
Uh-huh.
On R1, go to R1. Here see 11 will also go via 111.2, which is wrong. It should not go via 111.2.
So when I told you 11 will go 111.2.
No, I'm saying as this is default, right? 000. So 11 will go.
000, this is for your external routes.
Okay.
External routes. This is
Which is
for
the
your
14.
external routes. Okay. See, R1 is your ASBR. So you don't want to go anywhere to reach that 11 dot network. See, you are on R1.
Yeah.
You are on R1. Why you need to go to any IP address when you are the ASBR router? When you are having both the routing protocol, why you will go to any other router? Understood? You are the ASBR. What does NSSS tell me? That if I make any area as a stub area, and if that area is also having an ASBR router as my R1, so these routes, if I don't make it as NSSA, until I make it as NSSA, these routes will be not shared in the any of the router. You will not see these routes in any of the router. If I make it as NSSA, then these routes will be shared till here as LSA7. Just see it practically. Then after that, if you have any confusion, I will just explain you again. I can reach the 14 dot network. If I go on R4 and if I check show IP route OSPF. Okay, I'm having 1 dot, 2 dot, 20 dot, 10 dot, 12 dot, and 13 dot and 30 dot network. Let me go at R2 and show IP route OSPF. This is the internal router for area 10. So it will be having a default route configured. Okay. And on R3, I have already shown you. Now, once we configure, as I told you, once we configure area 10 as a sub area, it will not allow the external routes from R1. That is my 11 dot network. Okay, that is my 11 dot network to pass through the stub area. So you will not be able to see the stub. You will not see this 11 dot network anywhere. Okay, so removing the stub will not generate a default route for R4 routes. So what you need to do? What you need to do now? If I remove stub, then it will not generate OIA routes for these. For these RIP routes, it will not generate OIA routes. So configure area 10 to have default routes instead of external routes for 14 dot network. That is stop LSA5 network. Okay, coming from R4, and to configure area 10 to allow external routes from R1, that is 11 dot network, to pass through the area, that is the stub area. We must see that must be seen on R4 also. We use NSSA. What we use? NSSA. So on R1, on all the routers of stub area, we have to give the command, a simple command. We have to give a simple command. First, I will remove the stub configuration from here, from all the routers. And I have to give a simple command, area 10 NSSA. Area 10 NSSA on all the routers. On all the router of my stub area. So previously I was not getting the 11.network routes on any of the router. If I go now and if I check on R1, show IP route OSPF. Okay, let me go on R2 and check show IP route OSPF. See, here I am getting N2 routes now. N2 routes.
Sometimes it takes
N2
time.
routes. 11.0.3.network, 2.network, 1.network, and 0.network. Previously, it was not coming. Previously, it was not coming. But now you can see. Understood?
But
The
now
same
that you
you will
did that
find
with,
on R1.
Sorry?
go, go ahead.
Come again?
Okay. On R1, we can also see, right? 11. Can you check again? Yeah, it will come again later.
No,
Maybe it
R1,
takes time.
it will be coming on R1? R1 is something, the ASBR router.
Oh,
It's
okay.
its own route. Its own router's route.
Okay. And on R3?
Yes, I'll get it on R3 as well. I'll get it on R4 as well.
Oh, you are saying you are looking for show IP route OSPF. If you look show IP route, it will show as a C, right? On R1 connected route,
Yes.
right?
If I see show IP route, you will get the 11.networks as C routes.
Yeah.
Understood? Now what is missing over here?
So you'd have to have default routes now that you don't have the external route, right?
Yeah, 0 star IA, which is the for 14, I think 14 is not coming.
Okay. So you're not having routes for 14.network, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Why so? So make a note. No external routes of 14.network will be there. Okay. No default route coming on R1 and R2 as we have configured NSSA. Okay. By default, NSSA will not generate a default route. If we make any area as NSSA area, it will not generate default route. So on the output, you can see if I go on R3, I can see the 14.network on the ABR router. That is R3 have the external routes for 14.network and it is my ABR router. Now no external routes and no default route coming on R1 and R2. Correct? For 14.network. Neither there is the 14.network, neither there is a default route. Okay. So by default, NSSA will not generate a default route. So when 11.network, 11.routes from R1 are LSA 7, N1 and N2. N1 or N2 routes. So while in the stub area and when they go outside the stub area, they become LSA 5. I told you this thing. First, make this clear. I told you this thing, when the routes are coming and when they go outside the stub area, they will become what? LSA 5, you can see here on R4 it is LSA 5, on R3 it is N2 N2 routes, but on R4 they are LSA 5. Understood? Guys, see,
Yes.
whenever the routes will pass the stub area, whenever the external routes will pass the sub area, here they will be LSA 7 on this area 10. But when they will pass this area and they will come in another area, they will be becoming LSA 5, E1, E2 routes. The same thing is happening over here. 11.network are here N2 N2 routes. On R3 also they are N2 routes, but on R4 they became E2 routes, LSA 5, E2 routes. Correct? Okay. Now to get the 14 dot network, you have to go on the ABR router. You have to go on the ABR router and you have to, you can say, you have to manually generate instead of external LSA 5 for router force, and you have to give a command over here. The command is, first you have to remove the NSSA command, whatever the NSSA command you have given. The best practice is to remove the command and then give the new command. Okay, the command is still same, area 10 NSSA, and here you have to give default information originate. Do you remember this command? Default information originate. This
Yes.
command
Yes.
generates default route instead of LSA 5 routes coming from R4. Okay, so now if I enter this, now I will get, if I see over here, show IP route OSPF. I have given it on R3 only. R3 is the ABR router. Yeah, it took some time to converge. You can see now I got an external route. Now I've got an external route O star N2. O star N2 for the 14 dot network. For the 14 dot network. You can see it over here also. O star N2 routes. These are my external routes. These are also my external routes. Okay. These are
Is that
also my external routes. Yeah.
is that the type 5 then? LSA type 5 for the
Sorry.
external routes? Is that an LSA type 5 for the external routes, or is that what you said earlier?
See, LSA type 5, they will convert LS from here when you are coming, the area which is having ASBR router. Okay. Area that is having ASBR, which you made a stub area. The area that is having an ASBR and you made that area as a stub area.
Right.
From that area, if any route is coming, that is LSA 7. And if it is passing other area, if it is going to other area, it will become LSA 5 on
Okay.
the other area. Okay. Understood?
Yeah, I think so.
A stub
Now, if I
makes
try
LSA
to,
7. Sorry. A stub makes LSA 7 or NSSA makes LSA 7.
NSSA will make LSA 7. NSSA is a type of stub only, not so stubby area. It is a type of stub, higher version of stub, you can say. We
In case of
are
a
studying
stub
about
only.
stubs only, the versions of stub.
Okay. In case of a stub only, not NSSA, will we call that as a LSA 7 or no?
In case of what?
A stub.
In case of stub, you will not get the routes. You will not get this 11
No,
dot routes.
my question is not that. My question is, in case of a stub, will we call this as a LSS7 or no? We will not. It
In
will be
case of
something.
where? In
In
case
case
of
of a
what?
stub. In case of a stub. In place of NSSA, if we run only a stub, okay?
So that's what I'm telling. If you run stub, you will not get these routes inside the area.
Okay. Okay. Then there
You
is no
will not
meaning of
get
LSS.
anything. Then why you will say any? Why you will name the routes LSAs as LSA7 or LSA5 if you are not
Okay.
getting any routes?
Yeah, got it.
Understood?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, if I try to ping the 14 dot network from R1, I'll be able to ping. Okay. Understood NSSA?
Yes, I just sorry. I know I'm asking a lot of the same questions again. The O star into route, is that saying it's the? I don't understand what the O star into means. I'm sorry.
Show IP route.
I understand it's the default route to the external. I just didn't understand. Is that what the O star into was? I thought the O, E1, and E2 were external.
What are these routes? So O star, did I got anything like O star E2 or E1 routes anytime? I converted my E1 and E2 routes to which route? O star IA routes, correct? Now here when I'm using NSSA, then they will be converted into O star N2 routes. The default route will be converted into O star N2 routes. N2 means external routes. N2 means my external routes LSA7. LSA7.
Okay. And if it's O star E1 or E2,
Where you
it's external. No, it's just a question. I don't see it here. If I have O star E1 or E2, that's external routes, but LSA 5.
but you will not see E star, O star E1 and E2 routes. You will not see
Ever.
where. No, where
Okay.
you have seen. I'm just asking you.
I
Till
I
now,
have not. It was. I'm just confused on
no, you will not
those
see. You will
letters.
not see the O star EA route, E1 or E2 routes.
In case of external route, you will see only O space E1, O space E2. It will not like a star.
Okay. So does the star only indicate
Stub.
external default or
N2 indicates external routes. Star indicates default route, and they are getting advertised in OSPF.
OSP? Okay. That makes it much clearer. Thank you.
Understood?
Yeah.
See, when I go over here, what are my N2 routes? O N2 routes on R2, they are my 11 dot network, are my
Right.
O N2 routes. Okay. But I converted this O N2 routes, not these O N2 routes, you can say. If suppose I convert this O into routes in one single default route, they will be looking at this, like this. You will look those routes
Gotcha.
as in this way.
Because they're
Understood?
external routes, default being the star, and advertised via OSPF.
Yes,
That makes
external
much more
routes
sense.
advertised as a default route in OSPF.
Thank you.
Okay. Now still I'm getting, if I see on R1, show IP route OSPF, still I'm getting OIA routes. On R2 also, if I check show IP route OSPF, I'm getting OIA routes. OIA routes are still there. So what I need to do for this OIA routes?
Totally NSSA.
Sorry,
I mean totally NSSA.
totally NSSA. We can configure totally NSSA. Okay, so to configure totally NSSA, I'll remove the configuration of NSSA. Okay, I have removed. Now to configure totally NSSA, what you have to do? So I need to configure this my area 10 as totally NSSA. So what I will do, on the internal routers, that is my R1 and R2, on R1 and R2, I will give a command area 10 NSSA. The command will be same over here. It will be area 10 NSSA on my internal routers. But on my ABR, I will give a command area 10 NSSA. What was the command? No summary. No summary. Area 10 NSSA, no summary. Okay. Let us check what will be the output. Area 10 NSSA. Area 10 NSSA. Area 10 NSSA, no summary. No summary. Let us come on R1. Show IP route OSPF. You're not getting any, you're not getting, neither you are getting the OIA routes. Okay, you're not getting the OIA routes over here. Okay, instead of OIA routes, you are getting only one default route. Show IP route OSPF on R2. I am getting the 11.network advertised, means I am running the NSSA. I am running NSSA. I am getting the N2 routes over here, and I am getting OIA routes. If I go on R4, show IP route OSPF, I am getting the 11.network over here as E2 routes. I am getting the 11.network over here as E2 routes. Correct? If I go on R1, if I try to ping 14.network, I am able to reach. Means this OIA route is for OIA and my E1 and E2 routes. So what I am running over here, I am running stub, I am running totally stub, I am running NSSA, and I am running totally NSSA. So if I run totally NSSA, all the things will come in one. All the things will come in one. See, if I try to ping the OIA routes, 30.network is my OIA routes, other area. 30.network is my,
I think I missed it. What actually said it was totally stubby? What command? It looked almost the same to me. The
all the
area
commands are
10
same.
NSSA.
On the ABR router, you have to give this NSSA, no summary.
That's what makes it totally okay. But the area 10 NSSA is the only thing you ran on R1 and R2,
Yes.
right? Oh,
Yes.
okay. But by running that on the area border router,
By
that's
running
what made
this
it total.
summary command
I
in
got
area
you.
border router, it will remove the summary routes and it will just advertise the default route.
Okay.
Understood?
I got it now. Yes. Thank you.
Any questions?
So here, sorry, this command area 10 NSSA no summary. This command we have to run on R1 and R3 both, right? Because both are ABR.
You are confused.
Yeah, this part.
Pawan, ABR is a router which is running in two areas, which is having two areas.
Okay. Okay.
ASBR is the router that is
Run
having two
different
routing protocols. So R1 is not ABR.
Yeah.
R1
Sorry.
is ASBR.
Okay, so we are only running, only we have to run this command on R3.
R3, you have to give this command. Area 10 NSSA no summary. And on the internal routers of the area, you have to give the command area 10 NSSA. See what I'm saying over here. I'm saying the router, R1 router, that allow the LSA 7 to come in. Allow LSA 7, the external routes to come in. Okay, the external LSAs to come in. Because why they are known as external LSAs? Because this is my NSSA area. This is my NSSA area. NSSA area is an area which is having a stub, which is a stub area, and it is having ASBR. Understood? Remember one thing. Stub, what is the difference between stub and NSSA? If you are making stub, stub will never have, you cannot have an ASBR. You cannot have a stub area with an ASBR. You cannot configure a area as a stub area with an ASBR because you will not get the external routes. If you configure a stub area with an ASBR, you need to do it as NSSA. It will be a stub area with an ASBR. So when it is a stub area with ASBR, then the external routes are LSA 7, N1, N2 routes. So when what I'm saying, the router R1 that allow LSA 7, I'm saying the router 2 allow LSA 7, and here I'm saying allow LSA 7, but when you pass this LSA 7 information, pass it as LSA 5. Pass it as LSA 5. And what I said, one more thing on this router, no summary. So where I give no summary, if I am getting OIA routes or any summary routes, then give me a default route. Give the internal router just a default route instead of these summary routes. Understood? Hello. Guys, you getting me?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I got the concept now.
Okay. So this is where we have completed our stub concept. Okay. Now,
This will be part of ENCOR or this will be part of ENRSI? I mean, in examination, these questions can come.
I don't think so. It is a part of ENCOR. Okay. It is a part of NRC. So I see ENCOR.
I think I need to practice this a few times. I may have additional questions.
Yeah, and just show once yours. So I will take a screenshot. The topology what you have created on Paint.
No, just a second. Concept of EIGRP, OSPF, advanced distance, what is load, OSPF, environment shooting, point to point, broadcast network types, passive interface. No, it is not a part of this. It is not a part of ENCOR. This you are telling? This topology you want?
Yes, this topology. Give me a minute, please.
Mhm.
Okay, done.
Robert has shared this thing in the group, I think so. Okay, done. Okay, so we have almost completed all the things. We haven't seen authentication, right? Authentication.
Right. We
So
have not.
routing protocol authentication. Sorry.
I was just saying we have not.
Yeah. So routing protocol authentication. Now, what is authentication? Why we need authentication? To verify the
Yeah.
user that is sending the data is an authenticate user. Okay, the router authenticates the source of each routing update packet that it receives. Okay, so there are many routing protocols and all supports authentication like OSPF, RIP version 2, BGP, EIGRP. So we will only see about EIGRP and OSPF. Now we have two types of authentication, simple password authentication and MD5 authentication. Now simple password authentication, router sends a key, packet and key. What happens in simple password authentication? Router will send a packet and key. Neighbor checks whether the key matches its key, process or not secure. Okay. So simple password authentication is there in OSPF and RIP version 2. Then MD5 authentication. We will configure a key, a password and a key ID. A key ID with the password. Okay. So router generates a message digest or hash of the key ID and message. These message digest is sent with packet. Key is not sent. What is sent? Message digest. And in the message digest, what is the things? Hash of the key, hash value of for the key ID and the message whatever the router is sending. Okay, this process is more secure and it is supported by OSPF, RIP and EIGRP. Now EIGRP does not support simple text authentication or simple password authentication. It only supports MD5 authentication. So EIGRP supports MD5 authentication, define keychain globally, key number and key must match. The key number and key must match on both the sides. White space can also be a character. If you give a space after the password, it will be also considered as a character applied on the interface. Now, when we go to OSPF, three types of authentications are there. Type 0, that is null. Type 1, that is simple password. And type 2, that is cryptographic, MD5 or SHA algorithm. Okay. So in OSPF, we have three types of authentication. Now, OSPF authentication can be enabled on OSPF process level. That is when we are giving the area ID and all these things at that time. Link level, okay, with the help of IP-OSPF authentication command. Now link level, if you are giving on, first you gave on process level and then you gave on link level, then link level will override the process level authentication. Okay, so let us see, as we are having OSPF already configured between the routers. So we will start with OSPF only. So we have already configured OSPF. So what I will do, I'll just take R1 and R2, two routers only. I'll configure authentication between two routers only. Okay, so if I see show IP OSPF neighbor, I can see 12.0.3.1 is my neighbor. Now I'll configure R1 and R2 to exchange the routes only after successful authentication. Only after successful authentication. Okay. Debug IP OSPF packets. Or what I will do, I'll first configure the things. So first I will see the configuration at interface level. How to configure OSPF interface level. So interface serial 3/0. Serial 3/0. IP OSPF authentication. IP OSPF authentication. Then IP OSPF authentication key. Key I will make it as Cisco 123 end. Interface serial 3/0. Same commands IP OSPF authentication, IP OSPF authentication key. Here to check what I'll do, I'll give a different key over here and I'll enable debug IP OSPF packets. Okay, debug IP OSPF packet and I will give a key as Cisco over here. Now see what will happen over here. I will get some events over here. Debug IP OSPF events. See what I'm getting over here. Send hello packet, receive packet from 1.1.2, mismatch authentication. This is clear text. We are using clear text authentication. And the authentication is mismatched because what I've done, I've given over here the authentication password as the authentication key as Cisco. And on the other side, the authentication key is Cisco 123. So if I make it as Cisco 123, then they will start exchanging the packets. Now the communication is fulfilled. You see receive DBD, send DBD, okay, DBD, exchange, LSR packet, LSR packet, update, LSU packet you can see, then LSU packet, okay. So they are sending now hellos. Okay, so this is something clear text authentication at the interface level. I'll remove this authentication. From both the sides, I'll remove this authentication, the clear text authentication. Okay. Now, if I want to configure MD5 authentication, then what I need to do? I'll undebug all. Now, at the interface level, if I want to configure MD5 authentication, the commands are same. I have to give IP OSPF authentication, but just here I have to use message digest. IP OSPF authentication message digest. Okay, and then the second command is IP OSPF message digest key. So this key should match, the key number should match. Okay, this is the number, key ID, it should match. So key ID is 1 MD5 and the password is Cisco123. Do show history. Same commands on other router. Okay, if I see show IP OSPF neighbors, I am having a neighborship with 12.0.0.3. Understood? Understood?
Yes.
Authentication
Yep.
at this interface level. Now authentication at process level. Process level. Router OSPF 1. Area, they are in area 10. Area 10 authentication. Area 10 authentication. Okay. Area 10 authentication. This will enable the authentication at the process level. I am having the neighborship up 12.0.3.1. Okay. This is at the process level. Okay. Now, so first I'll remove the thing. This is something a clear text authentication. Okay. So whatever the configuration that I've given on the interface, see, whenever I'm configuring at the process level, the first command I have to give is this. Then the second command that I have to give is, first I'll remove this. Okay, whatever I have configured on the interface level, this is not only the one command that I have to give. First command is this, then I have to go on the interface and I have to say, for clear text, I have to say IP OSPF authentication key Cisco. IP OSPF authentication key as Cisco. Same thing over here, interface serial 3/0. I'll remove the previous configurations. IP OSPF authentication key is Cisco. See, unless I do this, my neighborship will be down, pull to down. Once I do this, my neighborship will come up again. So IP OSPF neighbor. This is at the process level clear text. Now process level MD5. So process level MD5, you have to first remove this command. What you have to give, if you want to give at process level MD5, you have to say IP OSPF authentication IP, not here, not IP, area 10 at the process level, you have to give area 10 authentication message digest. Okay, then on the interface you have to give first remove this command, and on the interface you have to give IP OSPF message digest key 1 MD5 Cisco. No exit router OSPF 1 no area 10 authentication message digest. Area 10 authentication message digest, and on the interface IP OSPF authentication, sorry, IP OSPF message digest key 1 MD5, and the password is Cisco. Now my neighborship will come up again. Understood?
Understood.
Which one is more stringent? The process level?
You have to use the interface level, because whenever you give anything, and if you try to if someone else configure it on the interface, the process level will be removed. So interface level is the best thing to configure. Got it?
Interface level with MD5, right?
Both are MD5. We can give both MD5 at the process level also and at the interface level also. See, this complete process is for process level. On the process router, on the inside the router, first you have to enable the MD5 authentication. Then you have to go inside the interface and you have to say this command. Both the commands are for process level. And whatever we have seen previously was for interface level. We were not doing anything on the process. We were doing everything at the interface only. Understood?
Yes, can you do just show history?
Can you go to?
Just type show history. Show history. Yeah. Here we don't see this one. Sure.
So here, the previous command you want to see?
Yeah, the authentication command only. Okay, we cannot see history from all the history from one.
No.
Okay.
It is at the process. It is at the levels.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. See, this is my interface level authentication. Interface level MD5 authentication. This is my this is my interface level, sorry, process level authentication. There is a difference. Here both the commands I am giving on the interface only. Here one command I am giving in the process and one command I am giving at the interface level. Understood? Now EIGRP. Now let me remove this router OSPF, or let me take 3 and 4. Router OSPF 1, I'll say no. Router OSPF 1, I'll say no over here. No router OSPF 1. I'll configure EIGRP. Router EIGRP 100. No auto summary. network 30.network. I am having 3.network between R1 and R4. Okay, I'm not giving the loopbacks. Router EIGRP 100. No auto summary. Network 40.network and 3.network. I form the neighborship. Okay, if I see show IP EIGRP neighbor, I am having a neighborship with 3.3.3.1. Okay, the task is to configure R1 and R2 to form neighborship and exchange routes only after successful authentication. Okay, so to configure, it only supports MD5 authentication. So to configure authentication, what I need to do? First, I need to create a keychain. Keychain with any name. Suppose I will create a keychain with CCNA. Then I'm inside the keychain. I'm having different options. Default, exit, key, no. So I will create a key. Key ID is 1. Key ID is 1. This key ID and this key string. I'm inside the key ID 1 now. Now I am having the key string option. This key ID and key string should match on both the sides. Okay, key string will be, the password will be Cisco123 suppose. Okay, I have created a keychain named as CCNA. I have created a key ID, key1. I have created a key string as Cisco123. Now I'll go inside the interface, which is the interface serial 3/2. 3/2. IP authentication mode. IP authentication mode. EIGRP. Autonomous system 100. MD5. This will enable the authentication. See, once I enable the authentication, the neighbor mode will be changed. The neighbor will be down because my R4 is not having any authentication. So this IP authentication mode EIGRP 100 MD5 will enable the authentication. Then I have to say IP authentication keychain. Keychain for EIGRP 100 is CCNA. Keychain for EIGRP 100 is CCNA. I'll go on R4, configure here also. See what it is giving me. Authentication failure. Authentication failure. Okay. On R2, I will create keychain with the name CCNP. Key ID will be 1. Key string should be same. Key ID and key string should be same. Okay. Exit. Interface serial 3/2. IP authentication. IP authentication mode EIGRP 100 MD5. Then IP authentication keychain EIGRP CCNP. Keychain name can be same, but here I have created different keychain name to show you. 100 CCNP. See, my neighborship is up now. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. My neighborship is up. Understood authentication?
Yes.
Any questions?
No questions. There is also a TBA, right?
There is also a
I mean, this I understood. Got it. There is also a TBA, right? Time-based something key.
time-based authentication.
Yes, exactly. Time-based.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
time-based
Time.
authentication.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we are not up to this time-based authentication and the things, because in-depth things, they are there in the NRC part, the authentication and all these in-depth things are there in the you can say the NRC part. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions? No questions? Okay, so let us stop over here, because if we start a new topic, we would not be able to complete half of or something. So we'll stop over here for today.